Matthew Stafford just got traded to the Los Angeles Rams in what looks like to be the first blockbuster trade of the NFL season. Today, I'm going to be sitting down and talking about my thoughts and what I think this means for the futures of both the LA Rams and the Detroit Lions. Before I get too deep into all of that, please do like and subscribe if you enjoy. It helps us a ton, super easy to do, and it's free. So just hit the big red button below and we will get right into the video. So, Matthew Stafford, who has been a long-time Lion, drafted in 2009, he has been a piece of this Lions franchise since he was drafted. And honestly, I think he's given everything he can to the city. There's plenty of examples, him fighting through injuries, willing them to the playoffs and going 11-5, and then being stuck in mediocrity with one of the worst franchises in the NFL. One big thing I want to get out of the way first is I really love how the Lions as an organization handled this. They reached out to Matthew. They said, man, we kind of wasted your career. Tell us where you want to go. We'll get a deal done. Matthew, which I think is pretty interesting, said he'd go anywhere but the New England Patriots. And that was just a source I saw on Twitter. I'll throw that up right here if you want to go read that article. But if that's true, I mean, what does that speak for Matthew Stafford? Does he just not like the Patriots? That's another discussion. Let's be honest. I think that Matthew Stafford is happy to get out of Detroit. And yeah, his family lives there and that's been his home. But man, I think he's just really excited to be able to go to a team and possibly win some games. I mean, this LA Rams team is going to be good almost immediately. So first, I want to say what happened. So, Matthew Stafford was traded to the LA Rams for a 2023 first-round pick, 2022 first-round pick, a 2021 third-round pick, and Jared Goff. And to me, I had a lot of emotions when I first saw this. At first, I thought, wow, what a steal for the Rams. They got a top 10 quarterback, and they dumped Jared Goff's contract. But then I remembered Jared Goff, I mean, he's not a bad quarterback by any means. I actually think he's pretty underrated and is a pretty fine quarterback. Do I think he's worth $33 million a year like the Rams gave him that contract and that's what he's getting paid? I don't. But I definitely don't think they needed to give up 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick, especially if the Lions were getting rid of Stafford anyway. It's not like they had a ton to negotiate. It was probably like, we know Stafford's not going to play there. We'll give you Jared Goff, who's a young, talented quarterback, and a first-round pick. I think they may have overcompensated a little bit, but then again, they did dump Goff's contract. So, like, when I went into the research for this video, I was like, Matthew Stafford's probably getting paid more than Jared Goff. Not in the slightest. Matthew Stafford's getting paid $27 million a year. Jared Goff's getting paid $34 million a year. Like, the man is getting paid. He's getting paid like a top 10 quarterback, Jared Goff is, and I don't think he deserves that. And, man, it's tough to say that because he's a good quarterback, and sometimes you do need to overpay. I believe in overpaying, especially in somebody you drafted in, and, I mean, he didn't lead them to a Super Bowl, but he was definitely a big part of their winning ways in 2018. Another big thing to remember here is Matthew Stafford is 32 years old. As a quarterback, especially a non-mobile quarterback like Stafford, where he probably isn't going to be risking injury too much, man, that is not that old. For context, Aaron Rodgers is 36 years old. Russell Wilson is 32, the same age as Matthew Stafford. So that puts into perspective just how much time Stafford has left. And a big thing about Jared Goff leaving is they might have lost a little bit of their future, and they obviously did with those 2 first-round picks. But thinking about it now, Matthew Stafford isn't that old. I think he can give them 4, maybe 5 good years of play. I really do believe that. I think Stafford is probably the most underrated player in the NFL. I mean, damn, he's a very good quarterback, and he's been stuck on a very bad team for a very long time. So I'm excited to see what he can do on a good team with a good offense. I mean, to talk about some of the Rams' weapons, I think that there might be a little bit of overrating going on, but at the same time, it's definitely better than what the Lions had. They've got Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, who's a great receiver, extremely injury prone. They've got Tyler Higbee and a first-round pick, Van Jefferson, who didn't really live up to expectations fully, but definitely still a young guy who has a lot of potential and room to improve. Plus, they've got Cam Akers, who towards the back end of that last season kind of broke out as a real, legit threat in the backfield. So, paired with all of that, I think Matthew Stafford he's up for a great year, especially like